Greetings, everybody, and welcome back to the LCK Summer 2020. It is me, Valdez, with LS, of course, here for this Thursday afternoon. We have a big day of LCK today. It is going to start off with Afreeca versus Hanwha Life, which we are kind of expecting Afreeca to come in. They've been very strong against the lower level teams here in the LCK. And then later on, of course, the match of the week and maybe of the round. Hanwha up against DRX. It's going to be a big day today, Alex.
I mean, I imagine that the second match that we're going to have is going to probably decide first seed moving into summer playoffs, and so there is a lot of hype around that. I personally think it's Hanwha favored.
Yeah.
So, you know.
The Chovy.
We know how the player of the game votes are going to go.
Enthusiast, yeah.
That's how it is. But Afreeca, starting off the day, they're against a team on the east side of the bracket, and so if, you know, things are going to remain a constant, Afreeca probably is going to speedrun it.
I mean, that's what we've seen, at least up against Hanwha Prince, who unfortunately are really down in the dumps recently.
Yeah.
Hanwha Life, I suppose they're only one small step above that. So if we do look at the history of the two teams, it does kind of dictate that Afreeca should come in strong and take the victory. Will it be a speed run? Will Hanwha Life actually fight back? Can Viper and Lehens do anything? All questions to be answered here, but so far it has been Afreeca stomping the bottom teams and then getting stomped by the upper teams, which is probably the biggest case of a gatekeeper team that we've had in a while.
Yeah, I think that Afreeca, I mean, when we take a look at the standings, they're 6-5 right now, very close with T1 for that fourth place, and then you have the big three. So, Hanwha Life, 1-10. Honestly, they're, you know, I mean, they're struggling. You know, it's just one of those. It's one of those things going on. So we'll see how they can manage to do here tonight. There is not a lot of time left in the split, Valdez. We are in the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
And so there's a limited amount of games that all of these teams are going to actually be playing. So every win counts right now. Now, fortunately, there's no more relegation.
Yeah.
So I guess they got that going for them. But still not a good feelings. And later on tonight, you and I are going to have to right the wrongs that are going on here. Sorry, Genji. Sorry to Arnold as well. But
so we got to get Showmaker up more towards the top is what you're saying? Or maybe
drink the Kool-Aid.
I'm not sure exactly what you're talking
about. Drink the Kool-Aid,
about.
Valdez. I have no idea what you're talking about. But later on tonight, Chovy will make his way to, you know, first place. But pick ban percentage top 5. We're going to be on 10-14 still.
Yep.
In the LCK. That is surprising. I don't know what is causing that. Do you know, perhaps?
You know, I'm not sure, actually, because...
Or is it just saying weak? Okay, so regardless, though, I mean, Bully Bear 100% pick ban rate. Obviously, I don't agree with that whatsoever, especially if you look at the context surrounding his wins and what he offers. Karma doesn't really need that big of an introduction. She's just so powerful. She's really having her legs just taken out from under her in the patch note changes that you might have seen Mark Yetter, I hope that I'm saying his last name right. If I'm not, I apologize, tweeted about earlier on. Points of the match, though, Afreeca, who never lost against the East versus Hanwha Life, who wants to avoid another losing streak, who will be today's victor. I would imagine that it would be Afreeca to answer that question. And I don't know what Hanwha Life are really supposed to do coming up against Afreeca here, because Hanwha Life, even in some of their victories, it really feels like it's their opponents faltering, where Afreeca has never shown that kind of weakness against East Side teams.
Yeah, for some reason, that's their main strength. Just wish they could show some of that strength up against some stronger teams, but we haven't seen that yet either. It is going to be Dudu up against Keen up in the top side. I think that is actually a bit more interesting of a matchup compared to the mid lane, which is also highlighted here. Miro, he's got some really good Galio. You've seen a lot of Galio plays in recent times. Speaking of your boy Chovy, of course, coming out with the probably biggest highlight of last week on his Galio. I wonder if they'll just ban it away from Miro And he should be starting here for the side of Hanwha Life. He's been having a lot more success than Lava in the mid lane, so definitely not to be unexpected there. As we're going to take a look at some of the stats as well from the teams.
Yeah, and I mean, I think that Afreeca in tonight's series, they should have a pretty easy time on the top side of the map, pretty much. And then obviously Afreeca's bottom lane, I think that they're more than potent enough, especially because Lahens, who historically was one of the best supports in LCK, really just having a bit of a rougher split here in Summer, which is so surprising because he's paired with Viper. So we'll see what ends up happening. Team stats, Afreeca really living up to where they're standing right now in the LCK. 5th in KDA, 6th in team goal difference at 10. Win rate, however, with the gold lead at 10, they're 87.5%. And, well, I guess if Hanwha Life have a gold lead at 10 minutes, they do win sometimes. That is...
Yeah, one time. Yeah, just the one. We're going to take a look at some of the rosters here. Nothing really to be expected out of the ordinary here for Afreeca. But really what we have to look at is Hanwha Life side and see which of the subs are going to be playing up on the top side, who is playing mid lane, and all that fun stuff. So we do have Dudu and Haru rejoining. They had some success up against T1 in their recent match. So it's not too surprising for me to see these three players coming out here once again. Of course, Viper and Lahens will be the bottom lane, struggling to 1v9, I guess we can say, just for Viper. Yeah. As you mentioned, Lahens not having too much fun on the team, as it is going to be Mystic up against Viper as the key player matchup. You can see that Viper has the highest damage percentage out of any 80 carry in the LCK, and it's pretty much because he's the only one doing any damage for his team.
I mean, Hanwha Life is mostly just Viper Life, is basically the team once it tries to get going. And it's just going to be very hard for him here against Afreeca in tonight's series. Hanwha Life is going to be on the red side, so we'll see if they can actually utilize that in any sort of creative way. Obviously, a lot of LCK teams have struggled in doing that. But there's always a first for some series, and we look forward to seeing what's going to happen here.
Talkative as always is Lahens. He's got a lot to say. Going back and forth here between him and Viper, and I'm glad we highlight that there. Keen, he's been doing okay. I don't think he's really the juggernaut that we've seen in past splits, and I think it's partly because of the way that his team is performing nowadays. Dudu here, we have seen him become kind of a solo killing machine, but we'll see how he does up against Keen. I don't think that's going to be just a easy matchup at all.
Yeah, and I mean, well, we're going to jump right into the ban pick here. So let's take a look at what is about to happen. Afreeca, what is going to be their first ban? Looks like they are pondering a little bit, and it's going to be Galio, whose eyes look about as dead as I would, you know, when you're having to ban away. You're having to ban it away, but
I guess those are his eyes. I never even actually realized
that.
You
never realized those were
I thought they
his
were
eyes?
like covered by the mask for some reason.
Well, Callista's eyes are lit up. Ooh, we got a little bit of Shadow Isles on the side of Hanwha Life's ban phase. Karthus. Now it's interesting, right? Because Spirit said that Karthus wasn't that good, which I think is stemming from some things. You know, don't really have a very nice way to phrase it. But Karthus very strong in the later stages of the draft when the situations are present. He can really just be the best jungler in certain spots, and then he can take over. But nonetheless, Set gonna get banned away again. And he's another champion that just had his kneecap smashed in yet again in the planned nerfs that are coming for him again.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting to see where that champion ends up. If they keep nerfing him, maybe we just won't see any more Aphelios, which would be sad. Sivir's being hovered here. Really don't think that's going to be the choice. Spirit just trolling a little bit. Ashe is definitely much more meta, we could say. And it goes along with the Volibear very nicely. Let's see what they're going to go for here into the support role, you would imagine. They're hovering the Pantheon.
Yeah. Could definitely be. No, they're going to swap over to Lulu. Now Nautilus. And so, Ashe, Nautilus, and Volibear for Afreeca. Obviously, heavy amounts of hard engage. And a bit of pick as well with the Ashe Arrow and Nautilus. Hanwha Life now, they're going to pick up the Olaf. We've seen Olaf and Karma really run things around. I would expect a Yuumi ban to actually still come in, given that Karma's able to go mid and top lane, and then you have Yuumi with Olaf. Well, Yuumi Karma with Olaf and Aphelios, which is a pretty big dream setup against a team composition that's having to run into you. I think every day of the week right now, you'd rather have Hanwha Life's 3 as opposed to Afreeca's in this instance. Zoe and Nidalee now being banned away.
It's Lehens too. I mean, come on, let's see the Yuumi. We really do not want to see this go through in this scenario. Well, Bard is going to be the choice. And yes, Bard is very high up nowadays on the ladder. As Taric is actually going to be the choice here.
Same theme.
Yeah.
Basically, as the Yuumi, they're from the same school, pretty much. You're just trying to protect and bolster the Aphelios and the Olaf and give them a lot more freedom. Vel'Koz being hovered. Nope, now going to swap over to Twisted Fate. And now over to Azir. So we're sort of like on a bit of a choose-your-own-adventure game. And we're rounded out here with an Orianna.
Yeah.
At the very end. So very exquisite cycling of champions. 41.2% win rate here.
And Fly has been dubbed the Spheremeister. That's for his Syndra and his Orianna. Blind pick Mordekaiser.
So this should be punished really hard by Hanwha Life, but I just, Dudu does not strike me as a player that's going to be able to punish it. And so this is one of those things that it just feels really bad as someone that has to know that Mordekaiser's probably about to get a win under his belt. And then there was R5 Aatrox. Hey, it's been a while.
Almost as good as R5 Renekton.
I've heard murmurs that R5 Renekton actually it did end the world, so that's why we're World Ender Aatrox now. So the most unholy of things right now. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't really get it, to be honest. I want to take a look. This is going to be Dudu's third game of Aatrox. He's 0-2. So it's not even like a Rich situation, right? Where it's like, oh, this guy is amazing at Aatrox. We have to let him play it. No, it's like, we think this is a great answer.
This is one of the funniest things, too, is there are so many people that they're like, oh, yeah, Mordekaiser into Aatrox as a counter pick.
Yeah.
And now we have one end of the spectrum where apparently there's a pro player that's like, Aatrox into Mordekaiser, right?
Yeah.
Oh, man. I love it. So Afreeca, the Mordekaiser goes unpunished. He actually gets rewarded. Not only does he get a lane matchup that is somewhat okay for him, he also now has Death Realm active against Taric to take him out of the team fight. And so that's probably what they're doing. So at the end of the day, Mordekaiser's going to get probably another win under his belt just because of the teams that are playing him here. Who's going to be piloting him?
Yeah.
Versus Hanwha Life as well. Yeah. So it's going to be a really rough one. It's one that leaves me feeling empty inside.
Yeah. Kind of like the way that Galio looks there on the portrait. And, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see if Afreeca can win with the Mordekaiser blind in the top lane. We've seen Mordekaiser, I remember he was picked so often in like 10-12, 10-13. Saw a lot of him blind, counterpicked into many different options. And then all of a sudden, we saw like 5 teams in a row lose with him, and then we just never saw him again. Until like these occasional picks started popping up again towards the beginning of 10-14. So I don't really get the reason why. But as you mentioned, they could still win from here. Definitely a lot of pick on their side.
Hanwha Life's team composition is definitely one that I would rather have than Afreeca's if we changed the teams.
Yeah.
So if this was Genji versus Damwon, I would rather have Hanwha Life's team composition, but I feel like in this instance, Afreeca should probably have the edge because Hanwha Life are so uncoordinated, and the whole Hanwha Life team comp is about coordination and synergy with one another. So we'll see how everything ends up panning out here.
Yeah. They don't have a whole lot of range. I think the Ashe and the Orianna can have a decently fun time up against what Hanwha Life do have here on their side. Obviously, they have a decent amount of let's run at you and try to kill you. That was all just one combined word with hyphens.
Yeah.
Aatrox and Olaf can just kind of run at you with the Oscar Gradients and a bunch of shielding and speed from the Karma, of course. But we'll see if Afreeca can kind of put up their walls and deny that here as they're about to hit level 2.
Ooh.
See that the hook is going to come down.
Oh, really nice stun, though.
Yeah, good dazzle that does come in from Lehens. As Keen now is going to take his extended trade.
And now we're going to hold the wave in front of his turret. I love it. So you know that your jungler's pathing top lane.
Oh.
You pull the wave. Spirit, what the...
Oh, if he didn't ward, actually, could have definitely at least gotten the flash. Might still be able to. There it is, and I think he's dead anyway. First blood, just like that. I mean, he saw him, and he had time to react. But still, the Volibear's gank was too much.
And the thing I want to point out here, though, is that we don't normally see this enough. Now, I would love to know if it's intentional or not, because Mordekaiser intentionally... Now, he can trade against Aatrox. He can go ham. But Keen was pulling the wave and drawing it into his lane because his jungler was pathing top lane. And he did it at such a timing that as the wave reached the point that it did, Spirit's able to make his way up.
Yeah.
And this kind of coordination normally doesn't happen by pro teams in the world. A lot of it is coincidental in most cases. And it's brought quite a bit of molding to the LCK broadcast.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting because I feel like we sit here a lot of the time and we're just like, oh, this was a good opportunity, but they didn't do it. No, oh, there's another good opportunity, they just didn't do it. But finally we have the opposite effect, which is nice every once in a while to get.
Now, the interesting thing about this is that you can...
이쪽으로 뛰어갈까? 상거리로 갈까?
He says...
위야 위. 갈게. 앞으로 갈게 바로.
So I'm gonna go
앞으로
right
갈게.
away.
풀 박는다 이거. 잡았어.
We got him.
올라프 탑. 나 이렇게
올라프
리콜
탑.
찍을게 바로. 올라프 여기.
And pings again saying Olaf is here. So, one of the things... Ooh. Is that...
Yeah.
Stuff like this, you can extrapolate this a lot more beyond the laning phase. The same concept applies in early to mid transition, mid to late transition with lanes. It doesn't have to do with just the first 10 minutes of the game. And it can be used to garner a lot more advantages or diminish the amount of risk that you have at certain points of the game. Love the Bramble Vest first by Mordekaiser. Feel like a lot of players don't do this against Aatrox and other matchups as well. They'll greed for more power items, and it isn't as risk-averse as Miru is splitting XP there with Haru. And I guess it's because he doesn't want to use his teleport, because otherwise he definitely had the ability to stay in the lane.
Yeah.
On his own.
He had 2 biscuits. I mean, he was pretty much full health, full mana.
TPs, I think I'm molding. I'm not.
He's going back. I think
he's gonna TP.
Yep, there he goes. Break it down. Well, what do you think the reasoning is behind that?
I'm actually trying to think.
Yeah.
Is
the only reason I can imagine is to try to get some kind of priority pushing in the lane right away.
Olaf further ahead of Volibear and XP or something for some breakpoint, but I'm trying to wonder what that even means. Because even if Olaf's level 6, it doesn't do a whole lot. Given all the lane matchups, it's not like Olaf level 6 is dramatically different from Olaf level 5. The only time it matters is that first dragon, but it's Cloud Drake, so you're able to ignore it. Oh, Spirit gonna come in here.
Smited this.
Yeah.
So he's not going for that one.
Oh, and Olaf gets spotted.
Yeah. And really that, I think this is the only real reason why they would go for it, is if they were really trying to put pressure onto that first Drake, but they just didn't. I mean, Haru just went back into the jungle and took his Raptors, was farming it out, not really doing anything too special. And there's a lot of vision around that dragon, too. It doesn't look like Afreeca want to give Olaf team the free dragon, the first one of the game. And they have some nice priority down on the bottom side, too, with this Ashe really putting on pressure. And so it does feel like Hanwha are a little bit choked here in the bottom side of the map.
Yeah. I'm not totally sure what exactly it is that they are planning or trying to do. Ashe dancing a little bit.
I like the music.
Hawkshot gonna come out, gonna spot Haru.
Okay, we got the heal coming forward. It is Unsealed Spellbook, but the ult was used by Fly to try to push Mira out of the lane. But again, it's Karma, so it's gonna be difficult to do that.
And now junglers spot each other. Not sure how that axe hit, but second one does not. Not a whole lot of lane manipulation now happening, though, between these laners. Fly still has teleport, by the way.
Yeah. And Mira could have it as well. We're just
what is
flashing
happening?
in, and Miru is...
What?
I don't even... He's totally fine. Fly is going to come on over. There's no ultimate, and that was a little bit embarrassing. Spirit now down a flash.
To find the power button.
There's no computers up here. Just monitors.
Yeah, I'm trying to turn it off.
We have no control. Well, that was a little bit embarrassing. But here we go. Engaged down on the bottom side. Lehens is not level 6, and he is going to die. As now Viper is going to try to trade it back, and he will get the 1 kill onto the support. But it's a 2-for-1 double kill going to the Ashe as Afreeca continue to win that bottom.
Yeah. And meanwhile, big trade up here in top. And Dudu loses quite a bit of HP. Olaf, they know his route right now because of that hawk shot earlier on. They're basically able to play with map hacks. I mean, they're spotting him again. He has camps up on both sides of the map. I mean, it looks like, life or death over the Scuttle Crab. I mean, this is how I like to play League of Legends. Ride or die, baby. This is what I'm talking about.
Yeah, we're going in, and they're trying to turn it on to Fly, but the damage is there.
Beautiful.
As Mordekaiser comes down first. Easy play, and now Afreeca will be able to turn this into the Rift Heralds. Yeah. I suppose they thought they had enough damage, but even then it would have been a trade.
I don't even know what they're thinking, man. You're willing to lose your life over 100 gold of a Scuttle Crab while simultaneously having 3 camps up inside of your jungle. So if the 100 gold is so important to you, why... Imagine if he lost the smite, too. How much worse it would be.
Yeah. Which was pretty close, I'd imagine. Spirit going to save his smite here. As into the Death Realm goes Dudu. And under the turret isn't enough damage. One more shot, and down he will go. That's just a straight-up solo kill. So speaking of the solo kill king, he just got solo killed by Keen.
Looks like Afreeca is going to speedrun Hanwha Life here in game number 1 at least. And the other thing about the Scuttle Crab attempt is your top laner had no cryo. And your mid laner, even if they get there, Mordekaiser is just going to waltz down, and you're going to lose the fight every single day of the week. So these are things that they have 30 seconds plus in advance knowledge and information of, and they still opt into it.
Yeah.
It almost feels like, I don't know.
Even the prio thing, like they should know that, right? From the gank that happened earlier on, especially, like there's going to be even extra less prio from the top side. It feels like a lot of going through the motions, I think, and not too much thinking. I think it's something that a lot of pro teams are vulnerable to, for sure, in many regions. And so it's definitely worrying.
Well, it seems like Hanwha Life, they're going to be almost 3,000 gold down soon. They did get the first Cloud Dragon, but it's not really that big of a victory. As it's very big for Karma, but pretty much no one else, as what the hell is happening right now? His Gromp is up, man!
His Raptors are too. Okay, we're going to get the flash here in the mid lane. And okay, now they're going to be caught here. The arrow will sail wide, and Cosmic Radiance is going to come down. Volibear gets extremely low. A lot of free value there given to the Aphelios. Has to flash away, as now Haru, with no ultimate, is trying to be burnt down, but he's not quite going to go down just yet. Survives for an insanely long time, as Lehens is going to be the only one to bite the dust there. As now Afreeca looking to extend their pressure into the mid lane and try to take out this turret.
I'm back. I think Afreeca, I mean, they're going to get first turret, they're going to get all the plates in the mid lane. And that gold lead just continues to get bigger right now. Dudu not able to help out in this fight. So let's take a look at what happens here. Keen taking the trade, pops the refillable, uses the shield. Yeah, I'm going to get him. I got him.
Pings the flash.
This is so bizarre. So I don't know what Spirit's doing either. This was, I mean, even if the Ash Arrow lands and he jumps on him, he's still going to die because the Cosmic Radiance is going to come out there and ignore it, and they're still just going to kill Spirit. So a little bit overeager by him. You can see Fly couldn't really make up his mind with where he wanted to go. He clicked down, and then he actually draws the turret aggro, interestingly enough. Haru barely manages to escape there. That should have been 2 deaths by them. Honestly, they're opting into things with a lot of information before they do it. And I feel like Hanwha Life right now, they need a little bit of Kit Boga in their lives because it seems like they're getting scammed.
Okay.
The kind of information they're receiving, I'm not...
Yeah, there does seem to be a disconnect of sorts, is one way to put it, I think. And, yeah, especially the Olaf hanging around bottom lane for like 30 seconds. That was very bizarre, where it was like, are we going to go for this gank? Maybe not. I don't know. Do you have Gravitum? Okay, I have it now. It's too late. I guess we just push. And, yeah, you can see that Afreeca have so much room now on the map to pressure many places. As Flash comes out, TP coming in. Mystic in a bit of trouble, but they're going to lock down Miru, who gets 0 value, as now here comes Fly. They're looking to just slow him down, and he should be the first one. As here comes Spirit now. He's going to take an insane amount of damage and flash away. He was about 3 to 5 seconds away from his ultimate there, so just unfortunate timing, and he still went in. Gets punished for it, as now we are going forward with the stun onto Mystic. They're going to be able to burst him down, and now with the lack of damage here, there's no mana for Fly, as they're just trying to run away. Spirit going to be forced to try to ultimate to get out, but he's just going to be the sacrifice, as that's going to be a couple more kills that go the way of Hanwha Life.
This is another one of those things, Valdez, where we know Taric has ult, so you can't dive the turret even with Volibear, even if he has it. And Afreeca's just standing there point blank. I don't know what to really... My brain's breaking this game. I don't know.
We're going to the next level.
I'm going to have to channel my inner freak here in a bit.
Yeah.
I don't... So, Miru, there was a good Ash Arrow by Mystic, and Miru comes down with a teleport, but he never is going to be able to do anything of value Karik's ult eventually comes up. Watch Spirit. He jumps underneath the turret, gets the shield, but Karik is going to be way too tanky, even through that. Now right here, they're losing their lives over that turret gold. There's no place anymore. Dragon's about to come up. You want to reset, and they stay point blank in front of a Taric and an Olaf that has ultimate. Ashe, no flash. No way to really do anything against it, and there's no Universe Spirit ever lives.
Yeah. I think in their minds, they were just like, oh, it's 4v3. We could probably win if we stay, but that was absolutely not the case. As we did see, it was a good first axe as well from Haru to get it all started, to just lock down the AD carry, make sure that he died within the span of the Cosmic Radiance, which is really the main reason why they were able to come back there. As now, Afreeca going to take down Shirley. Again, they're still in pretty heavy control of this game. You can see the goal difference at 10 and 15 has dipped slightly as we do move on in the game after that play. And Hanwha Life took that tier 1 down to the bottom side, so it still does exist, but it still does feel like Afreeca are in the driver's seat in this game.
Oh yeah, they're still very far ahead. I mean, they got the better Dragon in the sense that the armor is going to be quite nice against the Hanwha Life champions. And the other thing about this is that getting that Dragon at this timing, this is typically when Karma is most oppressive. It buys a lot of time for Afreeca's champions to get a little bit stronger because Karma, her 2 core items come online faster than other mages in mid lane. But her 3rd item takes her a little while. Takes her quite a bit.
Yeah.
Like she's traveling the country without a car. It's she has to get there. And this is going to buy time and actually align it so that the 3rd Dragon by Afreeca should still have them favored. The scariest thing happening in this game right now is that teleport.
Okay. Here we go. Keen is just going to say, you're mine, but then he misses Viper. He's going to flash on in. I think he might still be able to get this kill. Over the wall goes Viper. Cosmic Radiance is going to be perfectly timed as Keen will go down, but then it's a massive knockup into the back line, and here comes big boy Volibear. As over the wall will go Dudu. He will survive. At the end of the day, it is actually just the 1 for 2 that does go in favor of Afreeca.
Yeah, and the interesting thing here is Dudu flashes away at the end. When realistically, I'm pretty sure dying is the correct play so that he has flash at Ocean Dragon. Because him being alive right now, let's ask what changes during the death timer. He would have a similar death timer to Olaf and Aphelios. So if Aatrox was still dead right now, and you have Olaf running down to top lane, is he missing anything? And I think the answer is pretty much no. He would miss 60 gold in exchange for having his flash. Oh, okay, I'm sorry, my apologies. A little bit more than 60 gold. But he would have his flash up at Ocean Dragon. That's the difference.
Yeah.
And Afreeca would be down 300, or a little bit more with the assist. So King comes in off the teleport, misses the death grip on Mordekaiser, keeps going on to Viper. Cosmic Radiance channeling. I'm interested in their player cams right now. Did Viper look to see where the Radiance was and when it was about to expire? Because he flashed right into it, he got the activation, Spirit with a power bomb right into the middle of Hanwha Life, and Dudu flashing over the wall at the end there. So, at this point, I mean, Haru, he could freeze the wave for Aatrox, or he could undertow it, because he's got a hot date. He's got somewhere to be in a minute and a half. Very important.
Yeah, I mean, his skills do AoE line damage as the wave's coming in. It's just way too satisfying. You know, you just have to throw it out. It's really what you got to do. And, yeah, we're sitting here now. We got 4 members mid. That was an interesting arrow. Yeah. Really trying to aim it there onto Viper, but it was point blank, so not really like they'd be able to do much unless they were planning on diving the turret. Spirit with no ultimate.
You know what is an interesting stat I'd be very interested in? How many Ashe arrows have gone off the map ever?
Ever?
Ever.
In any game or just in pro games?
In pro games.
It's probably in the tens of thousands at this point.
Talking a lot of crap right now.
Yeah. No, what? There's been a lot of pro games. There's a lot of different regions.
All right.
There's definitely, I think, a case to be made for at least 10,000.
Okay.
Why? Are you going to say like 1,000 or something? It's definitely more than that.
Don't know if 10,000 Ash arrows have ever been fired, to be honest with you.
Well, we'll see if one gets fired here. Waited's on cooldown, but so is Dudu, as he's going to have to wait for the cooldown of his death timer, as he's just kind of hanging around in the jungle where they don't have any vision with Ocean Drake about to spawn. Don't really know about that one. Definitely a bit of a rookie mistake.
Yeah, and at this point, Afreeca, I mean, they're just in absolute control of the game. 6,000 gold lead with the Mountain Dragon. They're about to pick up the Ocean as Volibear is going to hug the Dragon. And Mordekaiser. You know, it really feels like he's trying to chop down trees or something with his animation.
Yeah, I don't know if that's the way to do it, though. It's like pummeling through the tree.
Yeah.
You know?
Really rude.
He's not taking like a swinging motion. Oh, we're just actually going to ult Viper there.
Yeah, gets a lot of damage.
And really, okay, trying to turn, well, now they're just backing away. The plight of Olaf continues. The Root is going to come down and push them away. At the end of it all, Spirit got there a little bit late. As Haru, he was running forward, and then he was running away.
Well, at this point in the game, I don't know really what Hanwha Life can hope to do. What we're really looking for is Aphelios to channel how many years he's been around. And that is the one out for Hanwha Life. The other really weird thing is the Shirelias here out of Taric. I can understand it. You want the movement speed for all your teammates as you run at the opponent, but they're going to be on the back foot. So I would have expected a pivot out of Lehens with his itemization. But he ended up committing to it. And I really like the Spellbinder out of Fly on the flip side, though, because mobility does convert to damage and EHP against this Hanwha Life team composition. So I think it's a pretty good buy here, all things considered. Yeah. I'd love to see a Locket of the Iron Solari out of Volibear next, but we probably won't see that. It's one of the
You know what he needs is a stone plate.
Oh.
Well. Our favorite item here.
You doing anything later? Oh, yeah. All right, well.
They're going to spot this. And I don't think that Afreeca really care, to be honest.
No, I mean, there's not a Blast clone. You like that clone.
Yeah. Blast clone.
I can't even speak. I'm just not even going to try.
Yes. That's the end of that. Okay, well, here we go. Wamba combo. Miro's dead immediately, and Olaf does nothing as he's running into the back line alone. Viper's still alive with a lot of shurikens going out. Nearly kills Ben. And then kind of overestimates the amount that Afreeca would commit to that. Has to back away. We still have 4v2. And they're going to run at the Baron once again here. As you can see that Viper and Dudu trying to do whatever they can in the meantime. Really all you can do is try to push some lanes against the Baron. But this Baron will definitely be going the way of Afreeca. And it's looking good for them to take the game as well, the way that these fights are going.
I mean, this Baron, it's going to persist into the next Ocean Dragon, so that's going to be Ocean Soul for Afreeca, most likely on the table. As Hanwha Life, I mean, they know that they're forced to go. It's just, it's in a very unfortunate situation. And yeah, it's not a whole lot can really be done. They're just so far behind in this game. So Baron will persist into the next Ocean Drake. They'll get that. They'll bring it to Ocean Soul. And then there's going to be basically two threats of ways to end. And also Karma, you want to talk about stunted build. She picked up a QSS as well. And so did Aphelios. So everyone's items have been stunted here in this game so far. Deathcap almost picked up for Orianna. It's going to be super big. Completion for Fly. And everything else just going super well for Afreeca at this point in the game. We might get a little bit of a lull state. but shouldn't be too
Yeah.
likely. They're still
I mean,
minutes on Baron.
You were talking about how, you know, it's probably going to be the slow push into the one Ocean Drake with Baron. Maybe they take an inhibitor, take Ocean Soul, end the game. But the way that Hanwha Life have been playing, I think maybe just one of them is going to get caught out. It might just be baited into a fight, and that might just roll over to the victory.
Yeah.
If we're doing predictions here. And, well, everybody's got a QSS on their team, so... Okay, we're just going to go in, and Olaf is incredibly low. I mean, that doesn't last for long enough, as the damage will come out. And Keen is now in the back line, but not really able to get that.
Wow.
Because the ultimate will come in, and that's
good night.
exactly what I was talking about. Everybody's going to be shut down one after the other. They all get baited into fighting. And that is going to be the end of that, guys. Will be a relatively quick game. It's not going to break any records. But Afreeca, once again, showing their dominance over a lower level team here in the LCK. Not a very close one. In this one, 17-5 will be the ending kill score. Lahen's just flying around. He's going to stopwatch. GG, as Afreeca will take another win here and go up 1-0.
Yeah, and so Afreeca with their speedrun, they're trying to be impressive because we have Damwon later on tonight, so they really want to make sure that they're not getting outdone by any attempted speedruns that might be present here today. So they take that one very convincing fashion. Hanwha Life look lost, and to Shopkeeper as well.
Yeah. You can see there's nothing but sadness here in the booth for Hanwha Life. The coach kind of looks just defeated, I guess would be the way I would put it.
I mean, they really did look lost that game, though.
Yeah.
The Scuttle Crab thing it's one of the most confusing situations that I've seen. But then also the waltz through river, if you remember.
Yeah, that was the biggest one for me.
Haru went down to bot lane and he was like, guys, I have this really cool idea. Come with me. And they're like, oh, okay, nothing else. Nothing else is going on.
Yeah. Don't follow your friend into dangerous situations. That's what your mom always said. And remember also, he was kind of like hanging around. He was like hover-handing down in the bottom lane for like 30 seconds prior. He's like, okay, now I'm going to commit. And then leads his team into the river where they just go in and get caught. As, once again, I mean, Viper's trying. I don't think he really had a bad game. Like, it was confusing.
What can you do?
Yeah, it was confusing following the Olaf.
They did get 2v2'd down in bot lane, though, Viper and Lahen, which is not common.
Yeah, that's true.
Lahen's been having a very off game. Miru, I mean, yeah, there was that thing in mid lane, too. Oh, man. I just want to stop thinking about it.
Yeah, well, maybe if Afreeca take the next one, it is possible. But Hanwha Life, they look lost. Let's see if maybe somebody can help them become found in this series, as Afreeca did take the pretty easy win. I would call it a stomp, but it wasn't that fast. It was kind of just like the slow suffocation, is the way I would put it there, of Hanwha Life. So kind of unfortunate for them. Still looking for some kind of success, but unfortunately, Afreeca's really good against these lower level teams. Guys, we're going to take a break. When we come back, game number 2.
늦게 말하자.
올라프 너무 나이스.
뭐야 이거? 천천히. 우리 안 죽어. 앞에 올라프도 봐라. 나도 앞에 설 빠졌다. 앞에 설 빠졌어.
천천히 해봐.
앞에 끌어줄게.
앞에부터.
야 이거 카리마.
하나만 볼게. 앞에 봐. 앞에
앞에 높을. 나이스. 끝내자.
이런 상황 끝날 수 있어. 나 초식에 있다.
오케이. 웨이브 왔어. 파릭 너플이야.
아이 덩치가 너무 커. 안 빠져 어그로가. 끝내자 이거. 얘들아 웃으면 안 돼.
야 근데 그 말 하니까 뭔가 그만할 것 같은데. 나이스.
잘했다. 밖에 맞아.
카르마.